Welcome to the Hamsey Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is Tuesday, September 18, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 354. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 83. We had 17 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and no new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 540,000 contracts traded on the VIX with 72 million in total premiums paid. Pretty big volume today on the VIX options. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in September, we saw an 18.65 reading, which is very bullish, with 34% of the total premiums paid. And October, a 2.5 with 34% of the total premiums paid. Another bullish number here on the dollar-weighted put-call ratio. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We closed at 1459. We have a down day 1.8. Basically, we have a doji here on the chart, and now we're on the positive 1, positive 2 sigma channel, which is the place we want to be here. We want to make maybe a retracement to 1446 and then start another rally here. Maybe try to go for this 1489 level and a new high for the year. In case we pull back more than we expected, 1425 is going to be the second target from the downside here on the daily chart. CI continued to be red and slope starting to decrease. We're starting to get a flattish slope. This could be an ending sign of the rally we've had. Here we go to the 60-minute chart. We have pivot, support, and resistance here. We continue to be around the weekly pivot. You can see it here around 1456. Our target on the downside 1438 on the 60-minute chart. That's gonna be our support number 1. And in case we make some type of a bounce here, we're looking for 1483. That's in line with the daily chart we just talked about. Going here to look at it, we are on the 60-minute chart. We looks like we have some type of a bull flag. You can see here the start of the bull flag, and now we're starting here the flag pattern. We can continue here, maybe looking for 1450 before we start breaking out, maybe go to 1470 and even higher here. Now let's go to the SPY chart. Here we have the 60-minute chart. For SPY, we're looking for 149 on the upside. That's gonna be our resistance number 1, and that will be a new high of the year. On the weekly pivot, that's going to be a critical level to hold this week, 146.25. Very important level here. And in case we break to the downside, we're looking for 144.40, 141.46. Maybe coming back here to the 142 level would be a very good pullback. Maybe a good entry here for the upside, looking for the 149, 150 level. If we go to the daily chart, here we have the daily chart. Slopes continue to be positive and red, which is a warning sign here. CI green and in positive territory, and sigma channel width continues to increase as the market goes higher, which is good. We are now on the positive 1, positive 2 sigma channel. We're looking for 147.50 on the upside, and maybe come back here as low as 44, even 43 to test this 0 sigma before we go to this 47, 48 levels. Very important levels here on the SPY. We must hold this 43 on the daily chart. That's gonna be important for the upside to continue. If we go to the IWM chart, this is the Russell 2000 ETF. I'm looking for a pullback, maybe test the 82 and 50. That was the breakout level we had from the inverse head and shoulders, and maybe test this 82 and 90. We come back here, maybe a good entry back to the 88 level. That's the level I'm looking on the upside, 88. But we must consider here CI is already red, but positive slope. On sigma channel width, we have been increasing to the upside, which is positive here. If we go to the 60-minute chart, 60-minute chart, the level I'm looking here, 82.55. That's weekly support number 2. Very important level here to hold, and after that we could continue our rally here maybe to 88, 87, 64. Those are the levels here I'm watching on IWM. If we go to the Qs, here we have the Nasdaq ETF. Pretty much similar patterns we're getting on all of the indexes, but this one has been a little bit overextended due to Apple and its recent performance on the second half of the year. I'm looking for a pullback 68, 74, perfect entry here, and looking for 71s. In case we break this 68 to the downside, looking for 66. That would be very here. We break here the pattern and start going lower. For support, pivot, and resistance, looking for 66.50 and 71.81. Those are gonna be support and resistance number 2. GLD. Here we have the daily chart for GLD. Important levels here. We are now on +1, +2 sigma channel. We came back somewhat after being overbought short term that we talked about. Gold continues to go higher today, up 0.8%, and I'm looking for 73.30. That's gonna be the next level here I'm watching. And in case we get a pullback maybe to 65, 0 sigma, that's gonna be a pretty good level for a long entry. Maybe we don't get there. 69 would be also a starting point for the long side. CI continues to be red and flattish. On the 60-minute chart, weekly pivot has been holding so far, which is 170.12, and on the upside we're looking for 173.94. let's call it 174. If we go to this chart here, we could see here 175-ish. It's gonna be quite some resistance if we are able to get there. You can see here we got a couple of tops here at 174.50, 175. So those are gonna be important levels here to break to the upside in case we get up here. Those are gonna be important, and we do want to continue to make this series of higher highs we've been making here. Very short term, you can see them here, and looks like we're getting ready for the next breakout. Another pullback, talking about the 68.60 level. That will be a good retracement and a good entry here maybe for the long side on our longer time frame. Last chart we're gonna look at is VIX. Here we have the daily chart for the VIX, and we continue to be below 0 sigma. We talked about maybe trying to test this 200-day moving average and coming back. We did not get that, failed that 20-day moving average. Now we're looking for a low volatility environment for the long short term, 14, 15 levels. Maybe sometimes we get a spike to the 18, 20 level and hit this 200-day moving average. That's gonna be the target. We're looking pretty low volatility in the market so far. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your HAMSI Analytics proprietary indicator paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great night, and I'll talk